my predictions for the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view from WWE that's going to be coming on later on tonight. Now, I know this video is kind of late, but I'm just going to give my quick preview and predictions for this pay-per-view. As far as the card for this pay-per-view, like everyone has stated, this card is just utterly atrocious. And not only that, it's almost like this pay-per-view and WWE in general booked this pay-per-view like TNA books a lot of theirs, which meaning they have one or two matches already set in stone, for a couple weeks. Then they throw everything out and just plan everything the week and a couple days before the pay-per-view. Just completely thrown together card. Now, the only thing on this pay-per-view that I'm really going to be interested in seeing is what is going to happen to further the NXT angle and what do they do with that, possibly having some outcome of the main event and costing maybe John Cena the World Heavyweight Championship, which I do see that happening. And now probably the only thing that would be interesting or even worth mentioning on this pay-per-view is probably what's going to happen with the NXT Invasion angle. Now, the first matchup will be for the United States Heavyweight Championship. This will be The Miz versus R-Truth. And I don't think this is going to be a bad match, but like everything on this pay-per-view, it's something that, could just be done on Monday Night Raw. It's not something that should be pay-per-view worthy. Miz will retain the title. He just recently got it back. R-Truth, I thought they were going to do something with him with the United States Heavyweight Championship and actually have him have a good reign with the title. But no, they just hot-shot the title, gave it back to The Miz, and there'll be no point to hot-shot the title again and have R-Truth win it. So The Miz will retain the United States Heavyweight Championship. Then you got the Intercontinental Championship match. This is Kofi Kingston versus Drew McIntyre. Just like the previous match before this, I don't think this is going to be a bad match, but so far the first two matches are nothing that you wouldn't see on a SmackDown or Monday Night Raw. It just doesn't set anything different from what you see on a TV to pay-per-view. Now, Kofi Kingston will retain the Intercontinental Championship. You'll probably see Matt Hardy come out there and get involved in this match, costing Drew McIntyre the shot to regain the Intercontinental Championship, furthering the Drew McIntyre and Matt Hardy feud. Then the next matchup will be the Fatal 4-Way Women's match for the Women's Championship, or the Divas Championship, my bad. It's Eve Torres versus Maurice versus Gail Kim versus Alicia Fox. Now, the only thing good that could come out of this match, and I know it's not going to happen, and that is Gail Kim winning the Divas Championship and then maybe finally pushing Gail Kim. But that's not going to happen. Eve Torres will most likely retain the Divas Championship. If they do change it, it will go to Maurice, but I'm saying Eve will be the one to retain the Women's Championship or the Divas Championship in this match. Then the next matchup will be the first of the world title matches in the Fatal 4-Way stipulation. First Fatal 4-Way match for the World Heavyweight Championship for the SmackDown brand. This is Jack Swagger defending his championship against CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and Big Show. And this match, if Big Show wasn't involved in this, I could say this could be a great match. But Big Show's going to kind of hurt the quality of the match, in my opinion. He just doesn't need to be in the main event. Now, am I saying Big Show, does he need to get thrown off the TV and don't use him at all? No, because I know WWE wants to use him. And actually, something like they did with The Miz and him was like the perfect thing, or him teaming up with Jericho. That was like the perfect thing you could do with Big Show, have him kind of be like the giant and the smaller guy in a tag team. And that was actually the first time, I would say, in a long time that I actually didn't mind seeing Big Show on TV, and it was actually something you could do with him. World title match, having him in a world title match, contending for the championship, just dislike that a lot. And but you'll see some good stuff with Rey Mysterio and CM Punk in this match. Swagger might do some good stuff as well. Now, Jack Swagger will retain this championship some way or another. It'll probably be kind of like one of those matches where they do a lot of finishers to end the match, and Jack Swagger just throws like CM Punk or Rey Mysterio out the ring, or Big Show or something like that. And Big Show hits like the knockout punch, and he just steals the victory. That's probably the way Jack Swagger will retain the championship. But then the main event will be for the WWE Championship, another Fatal 4-Way match. Now, this match right here could possibly be the one match on this pay-per-view that I'm actually somewhat looking forward to, but the build-up to this pay-per-view and this match and everything in general on this pay-per-view has been so lackluster that it's like, doesn't really have any meaning behind it. Now, the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Championship will be John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Edge versus Sheamus. And like I said earlier, you'll probably see something in this match with the NXT Invasion angle where they'll probably cost John Cena the championship. And if that does happen, which I'm pretty sure it will, Sheamus will be the new WWE Champion, and this will lead to a Sheamus versus Triple H feud and a match at the SummerSlam pay-per-view when Triple H most likely makes his return back to WWE. And now there's some people speculating, could Sheamus be kind of behind the whole NXT invasion angle or have some part to do with it, and he kind of would be like the somewhat leader or boss of it, even though, you know, Wade Barrett right now is the leader of it, but the one controlling it could possibly be Sheamus, or could it be something like Chris Jericho, or could it be Vince McMahon all behind it? But I think if it was Vince McMahon, that just seems way too predictable that it would work out, and I think they could do some good stuff with it. But if it ends up being Vince McMahon behind the whole entire thing, it's just way too predictable. Sheamus behind it might be something good, and at the same time could, you know, build Sheamus up, have him have some more credibility in WWE, and at the same time helping to build up the other younger stars, the NXT rookies. So that would be the only thing that's really going to be interesting on this pay-per-view, is what's going to happen with the NXT invasion angle, and possibly the main event being good. But other than that, this pay-per-view is going to be probably just one of the throwaway pay-per-view. At best, I'll be shocked if this is even an average pay-per-view. I kind of expect it's going to be in the realm, in the range of what Slammiversary was, probably like a 5 or 6 type pay-per-view. Nothing too special to really talk about. It's just one of those pay-per-views that WWE does every year, or does several times during the year, that no one's going to remember after it's done, and it's not going to be anything too special, unless they do something really epic with the NXT invasion angle. If they do something like that, that could possibly save the pay-per-view, and maybe the main event could be good to somewhat have the pay-per-view at least be average, but it's not going to be anything too special, and I highly doubt this pay-per-view is going to do any good as far as pay-per-view buy rates. I'll kind of be shocked if this pay-per-view does between 100,000 to maybe 150,000 buys, even with John Cena. I know John Cena is a huge draw, but still, even with him on there, I cannot see this drawing too much. So that's it for my my Fatal 4-Way 2010 pay-per-view predictions. Peace.